was recently having a conversation with Marina from the gym. You guys know and love Marina. She asked me this question, and I thought the dialogue could be extremely helpful for a lot of us out there because I know this is not unique to Marina. She asked me, Sean, I have a question for you. I can squat all the way down to my end range at lighter weights, but when it gets heavier, I don't go down all the way. What do you think I can do here? And I know what's going on. And I know that this is happening for a lot of other people too. So instead of telling her what to do, I asked her questions, and I will bring the same questions here. And I'll say, okay, so you can squat below parallel or all the way down in an air squat, pain-free. Yes. You can squat all the way down below parallel. Make it easy. At lighter weights, yes. What happens at heavier weights? Here, I'll give you the quick version. I'm afraid, remember these words, I'm afraid that I'm going to topple over and I'm going to hurt myself. Is the variation of through Marina language. So, to prevent that from becoming her possibility, because it's a story in her mind, she doesn't go down all the way, so she stops herself midway, somewhere along the way, and stands back up. And the fact that she has the range to squat all the way down means her mind, her mindset, her story, her limiting belief is preventing her from achieving full depth, getting the most out of the squat, XYZ. So she said, well, what can I do? And I said, well, this depends. Do you want to squat? Do you want to test that potential in something like a 1 rep or a 3 rep when those times come? And, she pondered, so I'm like, that's the first thing. You have to ask yourself that question. Do I want to challenge my limits? Am I comfortable to do that? So that was the first question. Because you don't need to. The second was, I said, something to consider would be we, at lightweight, like for her, if she can back squat 180 for 3, at lightweight, we would teach you how to properly and safely bail so you could know what to do there. She said, but I'm afraid if I get down there, I'm not going to be able to do that move that you've showed us before. So she's already showing apprehension to the bail maneuver, how to safely bail. So that mechanism gets topped with another limiting belief or story. I said, okay. I said, another solution would be whoever the coach is, myself, Nolan, Abby, or Peter, or even if we're in class, you say, it's getting heavy. I'm a little uncomfortable, but I would feel more comfortable if you were to spot me. And I shared this with her. I said, Marina, I recently did this. This was for Rachel. I said, I know Rachel had this weight, but I knew her mind was starting to get into the equation and essentially scare her a little bit because it was getting heavier. And I said, Rachel, she asked, Sean, can you spot me? I said, of course. And I know there's a level of trust there between Ray and I. But I wanted to make sure she knew this. I said, Rachel, I have absolute belief that you're going to get this, and I want you to have it too. However, I want you to know that if for some reason you don't get this lift, I will not let you fail. And what I mean by that is, sharing with you guys, I will take that bar off her body if she does not have the strength to stand it up. I will keep you safe. So I shared that with Marina, and I said, you can always, ask your coach that as well. And that is our number one guiding principle, is to keep people safe. And I wanted to share this with everybody because I know it's not unique to Marina. If you can squat an air squat below parallel, you can squat load below parallel. But what prevents us is fear. And I shared with her, I said, Marina, you watched me yesterday back squat 340 pounds for three. And I failed 2 months ago at my third rep at that weight. And I'm getting below parallel every time. And people are like, wow, oh my goodness, the depth. And to me, it's not something extraordinary, it's the movement pattern. And I said, I have absolute trust and confidence in my body. Obviously, I'm comfortable and I know how to bail, but I can absolutely understand where you're coming from if you weren't, why you would put these measures in place. So I want us to walk away with the questions that we kind of rolled through here. If you find yourself in a very similar situation, do I want to and desire to lift heavy for whatever that is for you, when and if that time comes? And if the answer is yes, to get the benefits of strength, all the things that I could list out and kind of geek out over the benefits of that, if that is a desire, then okay, we might need to develop the comfort of something maybe a little bit lighter. For Marina's example, at 180 for 3, she said she wasn't sure that she got as low as she could. Could she have achieved that at 150 or 160 and felt better and gradually worked her way up towards those weights? That's a solution as well. So do you want to lift heavy and get the benefits of that? And if the answer is no, make sure and ensure that dialogue is communicated with the coach, and we'll respect that, of course. And you know yourself, or whatever is uncomfortable. Maybe it's light and moderate for you and never beyond a certain threshold. Absolutely. Because what happens when we squat halfway down, heavy, repeatedly, and we develop that pattern? The stress of the load then doesn't get dispersed properly through the glutes, the hips, the core, the back, you name it, the hamstrings, the quads. The primary stress gets stopped at the knee joint, at the knees. And the knees they're great. They can absorb as we go below parallel because the load gets distributed through the muscles, the tissues, the joints, etc. But if the load keeps getting stressed, all that load on the knee joint, well, what do we think happens over time? So that's one of the reasons that if we have the flexibility and mobility to squat all the way down, we want to always reap the benefits of doing that. So again, have that conversation with ourselves. Do we want to squat if the time calls for heavy within our means, what's heavy for us, and ensure that we can do that all the way down, yes or no? And then what are some measures that I can ensure I feel safe and can combat the fears that I have? Is it practicing how to bail? Is it having that open dialogue with a coach that I'm nervous and I'm afraid I'm not going to go all the way down, so I would like you to spot me maybe earlier than the actual intended set to ensure I get all the way down and to build my comfort and safety. Let's take those into actual application so we can feel safer when we're lifting heavier. My lemon. Feeling safer when we are lifting, whether that's moderate or heavy, and we maximize the benefits and decrease the chances of injury or anything of the sort. And we can combat the self-limiting beliefs and the fears that rob us of our true potential.